Hello, I'm Bob Allison, WB1GCM ARRL test engineer here at the ARRL laboratory. You've read Norm Fusaro's review of the FTdx 3000. Now let's take a look at it. Well, here it is, Yaesu's newest, but first let's look at the connections on the backside. Well, here's the backside connections. Pretty solid box, very solid. Vent holes here. 3 antenna connections for your SO239s. Antenna 1, antenna 2 for 160 through 6 meters. And plus, if you want an external extra receive antenna, there's a port here for that as well. Ground connection, don't forget to ground your transceiver. 13.8 volts DC out, push to talk lines. What have we here? Pull out away, external ALC, and a connection to TX transmitter to ground for keying other things. Your linear amplifier connection here is for the optional solid-state amplifier. The model number is the VL1000. This little hole's covered up right now, but I suspect it's going to be for Yaesu's new line of antenna rotators. And I've heard it's the G800 DXA, the 1000 DXA, and 28,000 DXC rotator control from this radio. Your micro tuner units plug in here. They can give you, it's an option that gives you about 4 dB more on the intercept point. Audio frequency shift keying is applied here for RTTY and packet. That comes from your terminal node controller. Line audio output. A remote control. Here's the remote control pad. It's the FH2. You can use it for voice keying and also adjusting the frequencies up and down. And a little contest feature right here of raising or lowering your sequential contest number with this button here. And external speaker, your Morse code key goes in here. Another micro tuning unit control here. And your CAT connection. This is your PC control. You can either do it through an RS-232 serial port or a USB connection. And last but not least is this button right here, the program button. And that is for updating your firmware. And here's the front panel of the FTdx 3000. There's a lot going on here. But most notably is the front display screen. You can fill the filter settings here. There's of course your S meter. And it has other settings. Vox, your meter, digital noise reduction, your 0 beat on your CW note, a microphone equalizer. And this particular transceiver is rather menu intensive. There's a lot hidden behind the menu. In fact, there is actually 196 different menu settings, and you can scroll through here and adjust lots of them. So there's lots to do with this transceiver. Hit the button again to shut the menu off. Also on this Yaesu, on the screen, you could put on a little bit of a scope, and we can see what's going on in the band and see different signals here. If I hit the scope again, it gets the band scope, but it also has this little screen here that shows your audio passband, how wide the audio is coming through the speaker in hertz. Hit the scope button again, and you're back to these buttons here. Now, lighted buttons for the antenna selection, your IPO, which if I switch, will throw in preamp 1 and preamp 2, and back to intercept point optimizer. Your attenuator settings are here. Your roofing filter selects right here. We're on 3 kilohertz now. I can go to 6 kilohertz, 15 kilohertz, or if I select it over to CW, I can go down to, the mode button's over here, folks. Let's see, I can go all the way down to 600 hertz. Indeed. Noise blanker and AGC rounded off. Many of the controls are the same as earlier Yaesus, except there's just fewer buttons. For instance, the mode button is here. There's not individual mode buttons as you've seen in other Yaesus. You'll have to keep pressing this button here. Clarifier is over here. When I hit the mode button, well, the clarifier knob spins and then changes the readout over here. And I like it to say 0 all the time when I'm not using it, so I just have to hit the clear button. Your band selection's over here and a few other gadgets and controls. But again, a very menu-intensive transceiver. It's easy to understand, though, so read the instructions and you'll get through it just fine. This transceiver does not have a built-in power supply, so keep that in mind. And this unit has a handle for easy portability. I like that. It's not too heavy, too. I'm Bob Allison, WB1GCM ARRL test engineer here at the ARRL laboratory.